Hello and thank you for listening to another episode of TPAS Member Chat. I'm Ray Watson, the comms manager for TPAS, and I'm about to call David Lummis, the managing director of Aaron Services. Aaron Services are a commercial member of TPAS. They maintain heating systems. They specialise in gas services and repair, and of course are a key worker organisation since social distancing came into force. I want to hear from David about how the business has adapted to the changing environment that they're working in, particularly as their work is about gas safety, and of course it's essential and sensitive. As usual, I want to hear about any lessons or tips he has to share on what the outlook is like for the future, especially now that we've stepped into a new phase of the lockdown. Hello David, and thank you very much for joining me on TPAS Member Chat.
No problem. Nice to speak to you.
So David, can you just start by just explaining to listeners about Aaron Services and who you are, what you do, and what your customers are like?
Yeah, of course. So Aaron Services are very much a specialist provider in domestic and commercial heating, as well as some electrical services. We work more or less 100% in the social housing sector. We have 36 main clients, covering around 200,000 diverse customer needs every year. We work in the geography of the Midlands and East of England, part of a larger group of businesses. We work as part of the SureServe group. There's two other gas companies within the SureServe group, one in the northwest, Shore Maintenance, and one in the southeast, K&T Heating. So the three of us sort of cover the country, if you like. We're very proud that we've managed to continue to provide our essential services through this difficult time, obviously through having a flexible and proactive approach. So that's us and who we are and what we do. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I believe you were a key worker organisation right from the get-go, but I'm assuming you did change how it wasn't business as usual throughout this.
No, correct. Yeah, so we're classed as key workers. Obviously, providing heating services is quite important, especially for any vulnerable customers during this time. So certainly throughout the whole period, we've kept our emergency service going on a 24/7 basis. It was a little bit unclear originally about whether or not annual servicing of people's gas appliances would still be required, but after a short period, we've got certainly some advice from the Gas Safe Register and the government, HSE, about the fact that does need to continue, and so we've continued providing our heating servicing throughout the period as well. Yeah.
And many housing organisations in the sector aren't deemed key worker. Housing officers weren't deemed key workers. So did you notice the disruption in the way that you could communicate with your customers, with the tenants themselves?
Not significantly. So we've obviously maintained our own interaction with our clients, with those housing officers, etc., throughout the period. So while they weren't classed as key workers, we were still able to certainly communicate with them in terms of any specific access arrangements or issues, etc. Perhaps the one thing that changed is perhaps there was a little bit of a drop off in terms of working with those housing officers, perhaps out in the field day to day, quite as much as it was previously. But I think essentially the majority of the services that we provide has been able to continue throughout, really.
And do you think because gas is it's a big safety issue, isn't it? And people
Yes.
have to, it's an absolute no-brainer. You have to look after your gas services within your home. Can you just talk us through, how you've kept people informed about their gas services and how you've gone into people's homes?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we've obviously had to change our approach completely, really. So the letters that we send out to our customers regarding their annual gas services have been, revised and rewritten. We've put in place specific risk assessments for our staff and our engineers to follow around, how they go about, first of all, contacting the tenant, but then, potentially gaining access to carry out the gas servicing. So from things like how we arrange the appointment and making sure that appointment is absolutely confirmed, verbally with a tenant. We don't want to just be turning up at somebody's door, unannounced on the back of a lettered appointment. So making sure that all appointments are confirmed, and that specific questions around the situation with the coronavirus are asked at that time. And then, obviously, if the customer's happy for us to proceed, our engineers then follow, strict social distancing rules and, make sure they've got various things like washing their hands or sanitising regularly, using the gloves, masks, etc., and just making sure they're following all of the safe systems of work that we've set out for them.
Have you noticed? I mean, have people been happy about that, or what's been the doorstep challenge to you?
Yeah, so it's been mixed, I guess. We've had people, obviously, understandably, who are shielding through this period. So we find that out during the phone call with the resident, and if they're shielding, obviously we record that as such on our system, and we don't attempt to gain access to those properties. I think that's backed up by the gas safe register, provided that we're making every effort and that we've gone to we've got that information and got that confirmed. And logged, and so it's auditable, then we can do that. But equally, we've had the other end of the scale where actually some people have, we're at home, we're happy for you to come, might as well get the gas service out of the way, kind of thing. So it's gone from sort of one extreme to the other. But I think it's about making sure that we're flexible, and not having a specific, approach to everybody. Everybody's different, and just trying to manage that sympathetically, really.
Is that how you would summarise your approach now for handling staff and customer safety?
Yeah, I think we've got to be flexible. We've got to be able to react. Obviously, things have moved quite swiftly, and things are changing every day at the moment. So yeah, it's important that we're flexible and agile to be able to meet the needs of the customer.
I'm really interested, David, because you've been saying that although you have adapted, it wasn't business as usual for you as your organisation from the start of this social distancing. But I'm really interested now we have had a change of message to go alert rather than stay at home. Have you noticed any attitude changes recently in the reaction to that change of message?
So I think we have a little bit. So we've certainly noticed a slight difference, obviously internally and with our clients in terms of just planning for kind of the next stage. I don't think we're perhaps quite at that next stage yet, but planning in terms of, so as we speak today, while we're carrying out our gas servicing and emergency repairs, there's still work streams that we're not doing. So less emergency or lower scale heating repairs that we've perhaps not carried out up until now, and also things like our planned heating installation and some of our electrical programs haven't continued as they would do normally. So we're kind of busy with our clients planning for when those things can start. And it looks like hopefully that's not in the too distant future. Obviously we need to make sure that's managed carefully, and I say we've got the risk assessments to follow through and safe systems of work to ensure we can carry out that work safely. In terms of the customers, I don't think we've it's probably quite early. I don't think we've noticed a huge difference from the customer point of view. We're certainly finding that it's the roads are that much busier again. There's more people out and about, but in terms of actually people's attitude to allowing us in to carry out their servicing or their emergency heating repairs, I think our access rates are very similar to what they've been throughout, really. So at the moment, no great change there.
And as someone who's, like I said, who's been going out all continually throughout all of this, have you got any kind of big customer engagement lessons or tips you can share?
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that we've kind of done throughout the process, I suppose. I mean, it's been a great test all round, really, of our own internal business continuity processes. I think when this started, I think probably nobody realised we'd be 8 or 9 weeks into probably the lockdown period, and probably people didn't understand and grasp how long it was going to last, and obviously we fully understand now that it's not going to suddenly return to normal anytime soon. So Yeah, we've done a number of things. I think all of our staff internally are working remotely now, including our call centre teams, and I think probably we certainly didn't realise how possible it was to work from home, as a call centre. But that's it's been a great success for us, I suppose. And as long as we can get an internet connection, then we can kind of plug and play, and away we go. And the guys can use the phone system, and kind of nobody realises any different as to whether they're in the office or working from their own home. So that's been a great success from our point of view. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're constantly planning our resources and trying to make sure, as I say, that our staff, our field-based staff, are supported and that they're working flexibly. We've got internally, we've got a group company employee assistance program, which is a 24/7 helpline to make sure that we maintain and that our staff can cope with any mental health issues or well-being that they may have, that they need some support with, etc. So that's been successful. I've had some good comments and feedback from staff about how they've appreciated that support, etc. Which has been good. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And that's I guess this is all part of your recovery planning. Like you said, it's the new normal. Is that is there any more successes you've got that you're going to kind of keep hold of?
Yeah, definitely. I think the one thing that springs to mind most prominently, I guess, is we've managed to introduce a bit of a triage call, if you like, with our customers. So perhaps in the past, the easiest thing was to send an engineer to a customer's property, whereas now we've introduced a bit of a triage call whereby we try and get our supervisory staff and our technicians to telephone the customer and see if there's the possibility, certainly with some types of calls, of making that repair over the phone with the customer. So things like low pressure on a boiler, some minor repairs and things that can be done safely, depending on the specific customer that you're speaking to. Obviously, not with everybody, but we've done that through phone calls, and we've trialled a couple of video facilities whereby we can obviously go online with the customer and talk them through, and got some innovative ways of being able to draw on the screen and things where the customer can pinpoint the issue, or we can tell them what they need to try. But it's important to make sure that's all done in a safe manner. But certainly my supervisory and contract management teams have been reporting back that it's had some real success, and certainly something they want to be able to continue as we come out the other side of this. So that's great news.
And that's brilliant, and it's learning new skills, isn't it? I mean, I've jumped onto YouTube a number of times throughout this, so it's great to share that, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. No, and there's a number of things that we've got kind of planned in the background now, from our learnings to make us hopefully a more efficient business moving forward. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, David. We really appreciate it, particularly to get a different perspective of customer engagement for all this, and one so important and sensitive like gas safety.
No, that's fine. We really appreciate taking the time to speak to us as well, and hopefully try and give the other side of the story, really. But it's a difficult time for everyone. We're all learning as we go, and we're just trying to make sure that we communicate in all the methods that we can these days with our customers, to make sure that they're comfortable with what we're doing and the work that we're carrying out. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.